So, I was reading the book of Leviticus earlier, before I started going to go get my son, to pick up my son from school, and that's what I'm actually doing right now. But as I was reading, I just started feeling like it's impossible. Sometimes it could feel like it's impossible to live to the standards of God. It's like how I grew up and the lack of spiritual guidance. I didn't know all of these rules of purity and impurity until, I got into my late 20s. And even then, it wasn't like until I'm 30 years old right now. So it's like, this is when I'm really learning about it and actually teaching myself. No one was there to teach me. So it's like, in a lot of the scripture, it kind of makes you feel like, you're not even worthy. Like you could never amount to anything, that, to the, I don't even know how to put it in words because it's making me so emotional, because it's making you feel like, it made me feel like I wasn't good enough for God because I had done so many things. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'd rather die and start all over, at this point. And there's just a lot of things that it's saying, like, you can't be like, it's even things saying like you can't even be like, you can't have like any disabilities, like or like to offer God food offerings. And it's just like this is just for a priest. To be a priest, it requires a lot. It even says like if you're a widow or if you're divorced, if you're a divorced widow, you can't get remarried. And if a man who is you can't even get married to like a priest or a man who is clean in God's eyes, because you're a prostitute. And I'm like, dang. So if you try to get remarried, or you divorce your husband because it didn't work out, or they passed away, or your wife passed away, the words that I'm reading is just like, we all are doomed. That's why there's only 144,000. And I just don't think that, and this is just my understanding of it at this point in my timeline. I'm just speechless. I'm just really speechless right now. Like, how can we live up to God's standards if we didn't know any better? And I understand, like, once you know better, then, you know what I'm saying, the judgment is worse, for lack of a better phrase. Hold on, y'all, real quick. Back this bad boy on up. Shit. Turn this thing on out. Okay. Straighten this up real quick. But yeah, it kind of makes, I can see why a lot of individuals, and a lot of people who, I can see why like a lot of individuals and a lot of people who live a certain lifestyle, they say like pastors and priests and people who speak the gospel can be very judgmental, and they could be making people feel like, well, if God feels like I should be dead or burned or put to death because of my lack of understanding or guidance, you should give people more love and more respect. You know what I'm saying? In regards to the love of God and forgiveness. So y'all let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe.